Tchaikovsky is today among the top 10 most frequently performed composers. One might assume that the most influential music critics of his time would have recognized the quality of his music. However, the opposite is true. His works provoked one of the most egregious misjudgments in music history. It came from Eduard Hanslick, a music critic who was notorious in his day. How wrong he was about Tchaikovsky is embarrassing. But what is more interesting is how flawed the comparison he used was. Hanslick's judgment must be rejected. When it comes to music appreciation, there is also the other extreme. A composer older than Hanslick invented a malice that is the opposite of Hanslick's failure. A brilliant piece of music criticism. We will come back to this at the end of the video. Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto is one of the most frequently performed works today and, alongside the concertos by Beethoven, Brahms, Bruch and Mendelssohn, one of the so-called Big Five of concert literature. And how did Hanslick assess it at the time? He wrote that it gave us the gruesome idea for the first time that there could also be pieces of music that one could hear stinking. His insult is not only a historical misjudgment of a masterpiece, it is also wrong as a metaphor. No one airs out the concert hall after a performance because the music smelled so bad. Perhaps because of the visitors' poor hygiene, but not because of the music. There are judgments about Tchaikovsky's music that are just as wrong, but at least they are not wrong in terms of comparisons. The German music writer Theodor Adorno, for example, wrote in his book Philosophy of New Music that the universally beloved Tchaikovsky still portrays despair with pop melodies. This is also a rather scathing and probably incorrect judgment, but at least the metaphor is reasonably accurate. Hanslick's comparison, on the other hand, disregards a fundamental characteristic of music. Incidentally, he is not the only one to do so. Claude Debussy once wrote about Edvard Grieg's lyric pieces that they felt like a snow-filled lollipop. It is difficult to relate this to the characteristics of music. Music is an acoustic art, and the question therefore arises as to how far it can be compared with characteristics of other sensory domains. Debussy and Hanslick assume that it can be characterized by the peculiarities of the senses of taste and smell. If we take a look at common comparisons, we quickly realize that it is possible to transfer visual dimensions. Music can shine, it can go up and down, it can be colorful and have compact or permeable textures. The sense of touch is not far behind either. Music can touch, give you goosebumps, and in modern dance halls, literally hit you in the stomach with bass tones. However, it is a peculiarity of music that it lacks the most elementary form of physicality. Except for a very few synesthetes, it appeals to neither the sense of taste nor the sense of smell. This may be one of the reasons why it seems so otherworldly. Materiality has a smell. In contrast to Hanslick, Mozart showed how to make a judgment about music that hits the nail on the head. We are not referring to his scathing review of a piece by Antonio Salieri, as shown in a famous sequence from Milos Forman's legendary film Amadeus. The scene is fictional, even if it may show Mozart's character quite authentically. We are referring to Mozart's musical joke. In it, the composer of the Millennium pokes fun at the poor music of mediocre colleagues. The motifs are embarrassingly banal, the harmonic developments are off-key, the forms are wrong. His biting humor is quite ambiguous. For just as he makes fun of bad composers, he sets a trap for the audience. Those who laugh because they understand the joke as a shallow joke reveal themselves to be ignorant companions who know nothing about music. Mozart and Hanslick. One with crooked metaphors that miss their mark, the other with crooked sounds that hit the bullseye. It shows once again, talking about music is one of the toughest challenges. Interpreting music with the help of music is, on the other hand, the most precise form of aesthetic judgment. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel. At academia-larty.org, you will also find a knowledge database and online courses from our academy. And check out the other videos here on YouTube. Thank you for your interest.